guys, and welcome back to my channel. The case that I'm going to be looking into today is the case of Lee Byford, and it is still unsolved to this day. This case was suggested by Ruby, so thank you for that. I appreciate any suggestions you guys have, and of course if you have any more, please do let me know. Lee Byford lived in East Knoxville with his girlfriend, who was called Tiffany Cannon, and he actually worked at, I believe he owned it himself. It was an auto body shop, like a paint shop. He was described as just a really kind-hearted, lovely man. He was reaching up to his 37th birthday, and in fact, he was going to work on his birthday, but his girlfriend Tiffany had plans that once he finally got home from his shift, that she would decorate the house like with birthday things and make him a nice meal, and then he could celebrate his birthday. He was also really close to his family too, and so his mother couldn't wait to wish him happy birthday. I believe she spoke to him twice that day, and she was just like really excited. But generally, Lee was a really well-liked guy all around. You know, everyone that knew him just said that he was just such a kind-hearted person. So it was the 5th of January 2013, and like I said, it was Lee's birthday. It was his 37th, and so he had been at work all day, and then he finally got home. He goes inside. It was a bit late as well, because obviously Tiffany was expecting him home. So he goes inside his home, and I think his friend is waiting in the car, who he'd recently met. He'd not known this guy very long, but he said to Tiffany, she asked him why he was late, and he was like, oh, I'm really sorry, but I've got to drop off such a body at home. And she was like, okay, but you know, we had plans and we were going to celebrate your birthday. How long are you going to be? And he said, oh, I won't be that long. And his friend was called Gerard, and I believe, like I said, he was in the car. So out Lee goes. And then Tiffany said that she heard this sort of clanging noise. So she thought it was a very, very strange noise, and so she goes up to the window and looks out the curtains, and this is when she sees a masked gunman basically heading towards Lee's car. Lee has actually managed to get in the car at this point and has locked the door. I believe as Lee was coming out, he saw the gunman come out from the corner and obviously ran straight to his car in an attempt to try and get away. So this guy had like a blue hoodie on and a mask covering his face, so she couldn't see who it actually was. And he starts heading over towards the driver's side. So at this point, the shooter started opening fire. I believe he shot off like one round. And Lee at this point had managed to get the car into reverse and was backing out of the drive. But then this guy shoots, and then Lee turns to Gerard and says, I think I've been hit. And he actually was hit, sadly. He was hit in one side of his chest, and then the car continued to roll backwards. So the attacker fled. Obviously Tiffany at that point, she had come out and she was screaming at this guy to leave, you know, Lee alone, and was shouting from the porch, but he didn't. He shot him and then he ran away. And then obviously the police were called, they attended, but the attacker had already fled. Gerard at that point had gotten out of the car because like I said, it started rolling backwards. Lee was sadly pronounced deceased at the scene. He was still in the car, and Gerard had got out and started walking back up to Lee's house, which people have thought was strange, and I did consider that myself, because if there was a gunman around that was shooting, you know, I don't know, would you just be casually walking up to the house? Wouldn't you be like terrified that they would still be around somewhere? Okay, you might have seen him run off, but that doesn't mean that he's fully gone, I guess. I don't know. It's just my opinion on it and other people's. But anyway, the police canvassed the scene and they didn't really find anything. Well, they found a few bits. They found like an earring. They did it for 2 days. They found an earring, piece of chewing gum. But they didn't have that much to go on because, well, he was wearing a mask and covered up his face, and then were the only few things that they had actually found. But then, strangely enough, a few days later, so Tiffany had been going around trying to find anything, obviously, that could be evidence to who had done this to Lee. And she didn't really find anything, but then a few days later, she comes across a black mask just sat in her driveway, which, what? How on earth did that even get there? Somebody obviously put it there, but why? And the police had already done extensive searches of the area, and that driveway, lots of times, they hadn't missed it. It was not there before, so somebody had since put it there, basically. So police began looking into, obviously, why? You know, why was Lee potentially targeted? They thought that it could have been a robbery. Now, it was said that Lee had like $500 on him or something at the time. He'd done this big deal and had a decent amount of cash on him, so that maybe it was a robbery gone wrong or something along those lines. But then obviously when he got in the car, they couldn't get to him, and so they shot him and then fled. But his family have another theory. They strongly suspect, and I'm saying this is their opinion, not mine. I'm not weighing in on it. But they strongly suspect that Gerard may have had something to do with it. Him and Lee had not been friends for that long. They had... police found some CCTV footage of Lee stopping off at this convenience store or a gas store or something like that, and he goes inside to get a drink, and then Gerard goes off to the side of the camera and he goes and talks to somebody that nobody knows. And I don't know, people have speculated that maybe that's when he arranged for this robbery to happen, because he actually knew that Lee would have all this cash on him because he'd been working with him that entire day, so he had the knowledge. I'm only saying what people are thinking. Obviously it's not, he's never been charged for anything, he's never been named as like a main suspect or anything like that in it, but that's just what people have speculated. His family obviously really wanted to find out who did this, like anyone would, and they have put up a reward for any information that anybody has with regards to Lee's murder. And please, if anyone does know anything, please come forward and let the family finally know, because Lee was just taken so swiftly on his birthday as well. So his mother celebrates his birthday and also has to mourn his death on the same day. I mean, that is just absolutely heartbreaking. But it's all these years later, his case still remains unsolved, and I just really hope that we can change this to solved one day. But yeah, that is the end of the case. If you guys have enjoyed this video, give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for similar content. Anyway, that's all I have today on the case of Lee Byford. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.